All right, welcome back to Impossible Versus Matches, the show where we take pop culture characters, put them together, and see what happens. I'm joined by my good friend Jose.
Yes. Hello. Welcome back. We're here. Let's do it.
That's right. And if you don't know the rules by now, know the rules by now. This is a whole lot of episodes. We keep grinding. I know that only 8 of you are like really listening, so you
That's
should.
fine. It's fine. It's good. We're showing it to new people. Every episode could be a brand new listener.
Yep, who knows? And I'm talking to you, guy that shows up to dislike as soon as I upload. I know you exist.
I've seen that too, and I'm just like, what the fuck? This was uploaded 5 minutes ago. Why is there a dislike
Yeah,
already?
exactly. And it's on episodes that are like the good ones too. They're like the ones when I have a guest that I'm like, everyone I know that watches me loves these people. Everyone loves Jose and Jason. Why is someone disliking them?
Immediately.
Will Pashota, I know it's you
Yeah.
or someone.
Anyways.
But anyway, so yeah, we each got a list, and we're gonna spin the randomizer and see who we got.
Yes.
Again,
All right.
Jose, you're the guest, so I'm going to offer the invitation. Would you like to go first, or would you like me to go first?
You can go first.
All right, go ahead and spin your wheel.
Okay. I have Snake Eyes from GI Joe.
Ooh, fun. Ooh, very fun. I dig this. I dig this matchup a lot. So you've got Snake Eyes from GI Joe. I know
Yeah.
him. He is the blind ninja, right? Is he? Isn't he blind?
He's not blind. He just has the mask. He's not blind.
Well, maybe that was the story I made up for him as a kid when I was playing with GI Joes. But
Yeah, he's not blind. He's like a full ass ninja. Like he's not Daredevil.
well, that'd be super dope though. But okay,
Yeah.
he's
I
going up
have to I have to cross reference is Snake Eyes blind?
because I feel like that would be why he's called Snake Eyes for some reason.
No, he's just mute.
Oh, he's mute. Okay.
He was shot in the throat, but he's not
Oh,
blind.
okay. Wait, is he called Snake Eyes because he has one hole in him?
No. What?
Well, because like Snake Eyes on dice, that'd be the one. Like you roll 2 dice and you get two ones. So he's just one.
No, I get that, but uh so he was given the name Hebe no Me, Snake Eyes, by his Arishikage clan sensei, Hard Master, because he possesses the steely gaze of a serpent.
Ah, very intriguing. Well, he is going up against Buggy the Clown from
Who the
the.
fuck is Bucky the Clown?
Oh, who isn't Buggy the Clown?
No, I need to know who is Bucky the Clown.
Buggy the Clown is a One Piece character.
Ah,
Um, so since you don't know who Buggy the Clown is,
and I
uh,
don't have 18 years to catch up on One Piece.
to be fair, all you need is about 6 episodes to know who Buggy the Clown is.
Okay, all right.
He's a reoccurring character, but he's like the first actual villain that they fight in the show.
Oh, okay.
So he's like really early on, but he keeps just like coming back. But he's super lame because he's fucking stupid.
Is he like uh, is he like a Vegeta or a Frieza, where like he'll join the team eventually?
There's a bit where he like helps out, but he's really just doing it for his own gain. He's just kind of an asshole.
Okay,
Uh,
all
but
right,
he's not like one of the good guys at all. There's a
gotcha.
brief moment where he's like a reluctant ally, but basically he is indeed a clown. His Because this is One Piece, he does have a big red nose that looks like a clown nose, but it is real. It's not something he just wears. Um, Something you may know about One Piece is characters, eat fruits and they get powers from eating the fruit. That's how they
Okay,
have their superpowers.
good to
Um,
know.
Buggy the Clown happens to have this one power um, from a fruit called the Chop Chop fruit. And what that means is that he cannot be cut. So if someone cuts him, he does like split apart, but like that doesn't hurt him at all.
All right.
He can
Now,
also
is it just depends on which fruit he eats?
so basically how the superpowers of One Piece characters work is they find a fruit. It's a very rare fruit called a devil fruit. If they eat it, then it's basically a complete gamble as to what ability you'll get by eating it. The catch is that you lose your ability to swim, which means, which doesn't sound like a huge drawback, but the world of One Piece is like all islands, like there's no continents.
Right. It's all water worldy.
Yeah, so if you lose your ability to swim, then that's kind of a big deal. But also, if you like get submerged in seawater specifically, then you're pretty much useless. Like you can't even doggy paddle.
Okay.
So you basically become a rock if you get in the ocean at all.
Okay.
So like the main character, he's eating a fruit that lets him, stretch, kind of like Mr. Fantastic.
Okay.
And then there's a whole bunch of other ones. Some of them more basic, like one guy turns into fire, can shoot fire, control fire, that type of thing. Another guy does the same thing, but it's ice, one's sand, etc. Buggy's just happens to be one of the weirder ones where he can split his body apart into as many pieces as he wants, and he can't be cut. He can be hit by like a blunt force, but he can split himself up. This also means that he can like float around like that.
Okay.
So, like he can take his hands can come off and he can fly him around, stuff like that for punches or stabs or anything like that. His main catch is that his feet have to be on the ground at all times.
Okay.
So no matter what craziness he's doing, his feet are always on the ground, like walking around. They can't like go in the air or anything. But he cannot be cut or stabbed. And if someone like shot him, he would have to react fast enough to like split apart and dodge. But he can be affected by bullets or punches or something like that.
Okay. Interesting.
So very interesting. There's a whole lot, and I love One Piece, and I've been getting really back into it because like all of my friends are into One Piece at this exact moment because everyone's used the quarantine as an excuse to get through all of One Piece.
Bitch, I wish I had that kind of time. Yeah, I'd be diving into all the anime right now.
Well, if you read it, you could probably take care of it in about a week, honestly.
Okay.
But to be fair, but I could go on a whole thing. If I keep going, I'll be explaining the whole lore. But so Snake Eyes, tell me just real quick. Is he like more like kind of katana, like sword oriented, or is he like a gun blow up type guy?
It's very much a lot like Deadpool in that he's got swords, but he can use guns and grenades.
Okay.
He used like
preference.
the original person with that skill set. Like he's a ninja, right? Like he's the G.I. Joe ninja.
Right.
So do with that what you will. Like he can shoot rifles along with everybody else, like in formation, like everyone's standing there shooting guns. Snake Eyes will be the one to like, parachute down and stab a tank and cut it in half. You know what I mean?
Got it. Okay. So he's definitely
literally the best part of the G.I. Joe movies is Snake Eyes.
Oh yeah, for sure. I had a little figure of him. He was always my favorite. But so yeah, so he can dice shit up, but he's also packing heat.
Yes.
I assume that things like a smoke bomb or something are not out of the question either.
Sure.
Definitely acrobatics. Now on the other hand, Buggy the Clown is very one-dimensional. He is circus themed, but he has two weapons. He also has explosives and blades, so this is very interesting.
Okay.
He tends to just go for like knives. He tends to, hold multiple. He can throw knives. And of course, stabbing people is very, he can be very tricky if his hand is off somewhere else
Mm-hmm.
and you don't know, where he
Misdirection.
is. Yeah,
Like a clown.
misdirection. Exactly. Um, he also has a unnaturally powerful cannonball at his disposal, um, which early in the show is shown that if he uses this cannonball, because like normally you would shoot a cannon and at a building and it would pretty much just affect that building, right?
Right.
Um, he uses his cannonball and it pretty much destroys an entire city block, one shot.
Okay.
Um, and that's only, of course, if he has the cannon on him, but he has a smaller version of that cannonball that he actually conceals in his shoe that he can just like shoot it at. Like it's in a little compartment and he kind of like kicks it out if he
Getting a,
wants.
getting a lot of hokey anime bullshit going on here.
Yeah, you know what? There's a bit, but
I'm
it's
losing
it's
strength.
it's kind of like the same idea of like like the blade shoe.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the same idea. He just has a small explosive on there that detonates on impact. It's the same amount of power, except it's really tiny.
Okay. All
So
right.
I think since we're assuming they all live in the same like time period and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
um, Buggy and his crew they're very one dimensional as far as pirates go. They're pretty much just motivated by treasure, gold, silver, jewels. Um, and he decides to, you know, rob a really big vault.
Okay.
Um, G.I. Joe's an American hero, so we'll say it's Fort Knox.
Okay.
Um, so Buggy is able to get in there pretty easily. Because he can split himself apart, so he can go in, piece by piece. He could easily probably like put himself into a suitcase or multiple suitcases or something. Not
Mm-hmm.
important. It's easy for him to take out the guards, easy for him to get in. But once they find out he's in there, they're like, "Oh, well, we clearly got to call the GI Joe team." Um, so they're like, "GI Joe, we've got a clown at Fort Knox," and they're like, "Yeah, we're not going to mess with that. we're not all going to go together."
Absolutely not.
Yeah. So, but they say, he's got explosives and he's got knives. So they send Snake Eyes because he seems equipped for the job. Like G.I. Joe is very theme oriented. Like I'm sure they'd send Shipwreck if there's a battle at sea.
Yes. Yeah.
That's just,
Absolutely.
yeah, that's
It's
what they
like
do.
that's the whole appeal. Where it's like any situation, there's a guy for it.
Yeah. So they're like a guy that snuck into a, maximum security place. He's got knives. He's got, explosives. Send our sneaky guy with knives and explosives.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
um,
that makes sense.
so Snake Eyes gets there and, confronts him. And he is very surprised because he sees that it's just a clown. He's going to dispose of it with, something that's not ammunition. He's going to go for the cut.
Mm-hmm.
This does not work because the cuts don't affect him.
Right.
I could see him doing something. He does this in the first or second episode where he's actually introduced. Is he gets cut up and fakes the viewer out by playing dead, and then his crew like pretends to be shocked, and then he just kind of like shows back up, gives the sneak attack.
Mm-hmm.
So he'd think he finished the job. Like he sliced him up. There's body parts on the floor. He's like, okay, I'm done. He walks away, doesn't bother to check because, he cut him up. You would
Yeah.
have no reason to believe that he's not dead. But he's not dead. He comes back, tries to go for the sneaky stab. And
The Snake Eyes being the keen ninja that he is.
right.
Avoid
Snake Eyes, being the keen ninja that he is able to react in time, but he's definitely got a bit of his work cut out for him. That was not intended. But yeah, so they're going at it. They got knives. I'm sure they both use the explosions. The Fort Knox does get leveled in this because it's too explosive.
Quite explosive.
But that's basically how it would go. I'm not exactly sure who would win, but my money's honestly on Snake Eyes because One Piece lore is that Buggy has probably one of the best abilities. It's just that he's an idiot. So, like, if he actually tried, he could be one of the best characters, but he doesn't try at all. He's more than content to be like the big fish in a very, very small pond. Big fish in a kiddie pool, pretty much.
Okay.
But
cool.
There's a whole lot more to that character that I could throw in there.
That's fine.
He just seems to stumble onto things, luckily. And he's risen to power greatly in the series, despite still being the same like asshole from episode like 3.
Okay.
He just ends up getting there.
No character growth whatsoever.
Exactly.
Just falls into situations.
Yeah, he doesn't get stronger or anything, but his status just grows.
Okay.
But anyway, again,
all right.
That's the only One Piece character on my list, so we won't have to deal with that again.
Cool. All right. Fair enough.
But now it's your turn. But I liked thinking of that matchup because the more I thought about it, the more they had in common.
Yeah.
Despite one being a ninja, one being a clown.
All right.
Oh, I've got a fun one for you. I hope you got a fun one to go for this.
Oh, let's see. Let's send it hot.
Who you got?
Okay. All right. Who you got?
MVP. The most valuable primate.
Most valuable primate.
Yeah.
Okay.
the chimpanzee that plays hockey but also skateboards and snowboards.
Gotcha.
He's the most vertical primate. So
I've got an interesting matchup here. I have Maverick from Top Gun.
It's perfect.
That's almost a sequel in and of itself, honestly.
You know,
if Top Gun 2 is gonna go, but I feel like we're getting there right now.
If they made Top Gun 2 right after the first Top Gun came out, there'd be a good chance of him having an animal sidekick.
Oh my god. All right.
So MVP, most valuable primate, plays hockey, but he can also become most vertical primate and can skateboard and snowboard.
Okay. Is it the same monkey in those movies?
I am pretty sure. You know what? I'm going by it's Air Bud in all of the Air Bud movies. It's the same dog. I'm going to go with.
Okay. Yeah. Is it also the same monkey that is Dunstan and he's checking in?
I don't know. I don't know if it's the same animal actor, but
I feel like those movies all came out at the same time too. Well, Dunstan checks in was more of an orangutan, and I feel like MVP is more of a chimpanzee.
I feel like they're both chimpanzees. All right, Google.
Dunstan is an orangutan.
Dunstan. Is this a Mandela effect?
It's not an orangutan.
Oh, wait.
What is something? It is an orangutan.
That is an orangutan.
Yeah.
Okay. Then no. We're dealing with a chimpanzee.
We're dealing with a chimpanzee.
Versus Maverick from Top Gun. There's one scenario I think of immediately in my head, and I'm going to be very disappointed if you don't go with this.
I feel like we're on the same page here, so let me try and work my way through it. Okay, so maybe I can get into an even in more different way. So growing up, you know how there's space camp, right?
Yeah.
There's also a program called Aviation Challenge where you learn how to be a pilot and stuff, and you actually do it at the same facility that space camp is. I did this program when I was like 8 years old. So like, you know, I learned like basic survival training, you know, like what happens if you get shot down behind enemy lines, that kind of stuff. And the space camp kids looked at us like we were dirty, so it was great.
Mhm.
Uh, and uh, they also had a Top Gun competition. Now, in the same like bylaws that allow MVP to become the most valuable primate in his scenarios, what's stopping him from being enrolled in Aviation Challenge and being enlisted into these Top Gun tournaments and, you know, actually winning, right? What's stopping this animal from winning this tournament? Because I made it into fourth place and I ended up crashing, you know, like on a loop-de-loop.
Yeah.
On the sheer chance that he's just putting a program with a bunch of kids that just end up crashing. This particular event being like, you get a ride with a real, you know, fighter pilot, you know, as your prize for winning.
Yeah.
And then this monkey just kind of fails upwards into winning this tournament.
Yeah. He just ends
So
up there.
yeah. So Maverick, being the asshole that he is, and constantly being demoted for like flying like an asshole, right?
Mhm.
He has been resorted to, like he has been demoted to uh contest winner escort. So now here's Tom Cruise, ace fighter pilot, Maverick, just sitting next to his plane, waiting on this contest winner to show up, and it's MVP.
The most valuable primate.
The most valuable primate. And Tom Cruise just looks at the admiral and just like, sir, what is this?
Record scratch.
Yeah. And so
I gotta fly with what?
yeah. So the admiral's just like, you won the contest. This is your co-pilot for this flight. It's just one flight. Doesn't have to do much. Just, you know, like the monkey has earned it. He likes what he's doing. So can't be any worse than a kid, honestly. You're gonna put a kid up there?
Yeah.
Seems dangerous, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, Tom Cruise, Maverick is just like, all right, strap the monkey in. And you know, he's in the co-pilot seat, right? The goose seat, right?
Yeah.
Where he's like facing backwards, right?
Yeah.
And you know, Tom Cruise is addressing the media because, you know, he's gotta you know, make light with the reporters and all that, because MVP is you know, he's kind of making a name for himself, you know, like being a monkey that won this tournament and also being most valuable primate,
of course,
you know. So while Tom Cruise is addressing the media, the plane starts moving, and Tom Cruise like has no idea. He's answering questions, you know, like the crowd's reacting, and he's just like, it's just a monkey. Like there's nothing that could possibly. And then the thing just like shoots off the fucking aircraft carrier that they're on.
Okay.
And like the jet wash like knocks everybody over, and like Tom Cruise, what the fuck? Did that monkey just steal my goddamn plane? Right. And he doesn't know what the fuck's going on. And like fucking Iceman like comes out of nowhere and like picks him up and just like, get it together, man. That monkey just stole your fucking plane. And he's flying it really good, actually. Right, so the monkey just like kind of like flopped over into the pilot seats, flipped all the switches because the simulations are actually pretty accurate, and he just shoots right up. So now Tom Cruise with his wingman Iceman are now like hopping into other F-18s, taking off, chasing MVP in his own F-18.
I like that you made this an aerial battle.
Absolutely, it's got to be a dogfight,
Yeah.
right? And of course,
with the most valuable primate.
with Maverick with most valuable primate, and honestly, it being unpredictable, it could be anyone's like fucking fight.
That's good.
That's
slightly different direction.
That's as far as I could take it in as unique a direction as I could.
You know what? Fair enough. What I immediately thought of was that he's been the most valuable primate, and he's been the most vertical primate, but he can be more vertical. So somehow the MVP also gets into like the Top Gun, like the full-on academy from the movie that Maverick's a part of, and no one likes that a chimp is part of the program and just like you said, stumbling his way through everything. But the chimp is the chimp's doing a good job. He's playing volleyball.
He's probably doing really good at that.
He's playing with the boys, and he's like hitting the volleyball. And how I was going to make him and Maverick like go against each other was that he also gets into Maverick's plane, but he pisses in the goose chair.
So you have Tom Cruise like hand to hand fighting the chimpanzee, like.
Well, that would be the catalyst.
A monkey mercilessly in the face.
Well, no, that's the catalyst. See, because that's when the monkey starts to become self-aware. He knows what he's doing. Like he knows that'll piss off Maverick, and then basically the MVP becomes the new Iceman. Just an asshole the whole time. It also would culminate in a dogfight. So we're pretty close.
Also culminating in a dogfight.
Yeah, because why wouldn't it? It's Top Gun.
Okay.
I like that. I'm glad that MVP got a worthy opponent.
Yeah, I don't know that it could have gone any other way, but that is interesting that it went in that direction and not. I don't even know what sport MVP plays. Is it baseball? Like
no, he when he's most valuable primate, he plays hockey.
Hockey.
And when he's most vertical primate, he extreme skateboards. But then in most vertical primate 2 or MVP 3, most vertical primate 2, he snowboards.
Okay.
This is the lore. You're learning a lot of lore today, Jose.
I'm having an aneurysm. All right.
But in a recent episode we recorded, we finally got to Air Bud, and I was like, yes, now that we've used Air Bud, I can put MVP on the list.
We're gonna get to Super Buddies before we know it.
Oh, it's only a matter of time. I can only think of so many characters. Whenever I add characters to my list, I like become brain dead for a second. I'm like, I can't think of a single pop culture character.
So yeah, right? Yeah, like when I'm thinking about like new people to add, and it's like,
who?
What do I do?
And then I go to like the movie shelf, and I'm like, too obscure. Yeah, that's fine. But like, I also don't want to be basic. Like, I don't want to throw in like Spider-Man and stuff.
Yeah.
Because like I feel like that's obvious unless they go up against like Spider-Man versus I don't know Jerry Seinfeld.
Right.
From
Seinfeld.
I
feel like we got a good mix of people. on our list
Yeah,
here.
this is pretty good. Complete side note: I was in Target the other day and I saw that there's a Top Gun board game right now.
Yes, I've seen that too.
It's got a flying phase and a volleyball phase, and I think that's hilarious.
Yes.
I looked on the back, so like one part of the game is spent doing flight stuff, and the other part of the game is spent playing volleyball, and I think that's absolutely perfect. Who says you
Okay.
can't adapt a movie to a board game perfectly? But
Fair enough.
anyway, thank you for listening to this very lore-filled episode of Impossible versus Matches. You learn about One Piece, you learn about Top Gun, and you learn about MVP. most
I've learned a lot from this episode.
most valuable / vertical primate. You also learned that Dunstan checked in and he was an orangutan while doing so.
Totally different animal.
Yep, completely different animal, but also still an ape.
Still an ape.
But thank you for listening to this episode of Impossible versus Matches. I don't know when it'll be uploaded. It'll be uploaded sometime, but we're recording it now. But when it is now, you won't know. So, Jose, where can they find you?
You can find me at Rec Room Jacks for the bar Rec Room. I'm there all the time. Twitch.tv/Rec Room Jacks, and all my personal stuff at Lucha Verde on Twitter and the Lucha Verde on Instagram.
That's right. Support Rec Room. If you can't get there, find a way to get there.